While you're stuck removing your shoes at airport security, the US president rolls up in a $1.5 million bulletproof tank disguised as a limo. Fighter jets clear the skies. A flying fortress that can survive nuclear war waits on the tarmac. But here's what'll blow your mind. None of that is even the craziest part. Every presidential trip is planned like a military invasion. Advanced teams arrive months early. Security so extreme it makes Mission Impossible look like a kid's movie. You think you know about Air Force One and armored limos? Think again, because the most dangerous moments aren't when they're flying at 45,000 feet or riding in that bulletproof beast. It's during the 30 seconds nobody talks about. And when things go wrong, the stories will shock you. Let's start with Air Force One. This isn't just a fancy plane. It's a flying White House that weighs 833,000 pounds and can stay airborne indefinitely. You heard that right? Indefinitely. The Boeing 747 can fly 7,800 miles without stopping. But here's the kicker. It refuels midair. Nuclear war breaks out? The president can run America from the clouds for days, maybe weeks. Get this. The plane has 87 telephones. 87. Including secure lines that can launch nuclear missiles. There's an operating room with a full surgical team, 2 kitchens that can feed 100 people, and every single inch gets hand-polished before takeoff. But wait, there's more. The entire aircraft is hardened against electromagnetic pulses. You know, the kind that come from nuclear explosions. If a nuke goes off nearby, your iPhone dies. Air Force One, still running the country. The wiring is shielded so heavily that the plane could fly through a nuclear blast and the president could still order pizza. Well, maybe not pizza, but you get the idea. President Bush found out just how crazy this gets on September 11th. As they're taking off from Florida, someone reports a missile on the runway. False alarm, but the pilot doesn't know that. Colonel Mark Tillman literally stands the plane on its tail, nose up, tail down like a rocket ship. Bush's advisor Karl Rove said it was the most terrifying moment of his life. They're flying at maximum altitude when 2 unidentified jets approach. Everyone thinks they're under attack. Secret Service agents are reaching for weapons. Then the pilots speak up with thick Texas accents. "Y'all, we're your F-16 escorts." Even in a crisis, everything's bigger in Texas. The plane also has advanced missile defense systems, infrared jammers that can confuse heat-seeking missiles, chaff and flares that burn hot enough to redirect incoming threats, electronic countermeasures that can jam enemy radar from miles away. Now let's talk about the beast. This thing makes your Honda look like a toy car. 20,000 pounds. That's heavier than 4 regular cars combined. The armor plating? 8 inches thick. The windows? 5 inches of bulletproof glass. The doors are so heavy they need hydraulic assistance just to close. You think that's wild? We're just getting started. The door handles are electrified. Touch them without permission? You're getting tased. Night vision systems for driving in complete darkness. Tear gas cannons that can clear a crowd in seconds. Smoke grenades that can create instant cover. And here's my favorite part. There's a refrigerator stocked with the president's exact blood type. The entire passenger compartment seals like a submarine. Chemical attack? No problem. The car has its own oxygen supply. Biological weapons? The air filtration system can handle it. The beast can literally drive underwater for short distances. But here's what'll really mess with your head. They build multiple identical limos for every trip. Even Secret Service agents don't know which one has the president until the last second. During Obama's 2009 Iraq visit, his motorcade looked like a military convoy. Humvees with anti-rocket antennas, armored trucks with jamming equipment. Because apparently regular security wasn't enough for a war zone, the beast also has run-flat tires made of Kevlar. You could shoot out all 4 tires and it would keep driving. The wheels are solid steel underneath, so even if the tires completely disintegrate, the car keeps moving. And get this, the car can launch its own countermeasures. Smoke screens, tear gas, even small explosive charges to clear obstacles. It's like something out of a James Bond movie, except it's real and your tax dollars paid for it. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Before the president goes anywhere, teams of agents arrive weeks early, sometimes months. These aren't just security guards. They're like military generals planning D-Day. Domestic trips, 2 to 3 weeks of advanced planning. International travel, try 3 months. They coordinate with local police, federal agencies, foreign governments. They establish 3 security rings: inner, middle, and outer, each one controlled by different teams. But the real genius is in the details that sound insane. They create manifests for everything: who can ride which elevator, when, what floor they can access. They scout multiple routes to the same destination: primary route, secondary route, emergency route. They coordinate with trauma hospitals along every possible path. They even check which way the wind blows in case they need to deploy smoke grenades. The advanced team also coordinates with local utilities. They need to know where every power line runs, every water main, every gas pipe. Why? Because if something goes wrong, they need to know exactly how to shut down infrastructure to protect the president. For international trips, they work with U.S. embassies months in advance. They negotiate with foreign governments about airspace, security protocols, and emergency procedures. They establish secure communication lines. They even coordinate with foreign hospitals in case of medical emergencies. Want to know how extreme this gets? When Obama attended the UN General Assembly, they turned Manhattan into a fortress. The Secret Service coordinated with multiple countries: the NYPD, FBI, and military units. They established no-fly zones. They positioned snipers on rooftops. They had divers in the East River checking for underwater threats. All for one speech. The advanced team also handles the logistics of moving the president's vehicles. The beast gets transported on military cargo planes. Marine One helicopter gets disassembled and shipped. Even the president's personal items get their own security detail. Here's what they don't want you to know. Despite all this security, things go sideways more than you'd think. JFK's assassination in 1963 changed everything. Before Dallas, presidents rode in open-air convertibles, for the people to see them. After November 22nd, never again. Every security protocol exists because something went wrong before. Multiple identical vehicles? Attackers have successfully identified presidential cars in the past. Electronic countermeasures? Remote-controlled bombs have been attempted. Fighter jet escorts? There have been credible airborne threats. Reagan's shooting in 1981 revealed the deadliest vulnerability. It wasn't in the car or the plane. It was the 30 seconds walking from the limo to the building. John Hinckley Jr. attacked during that brief transition. Now every single step is choreographed. Agents form human shields. Multiple escape routes are planned. Even the angle the president walks is calculated to minimize exposure. They practice these movements over and over until it's muscle memory. The Secret Service also learned from international incidents. When foreign leaders have been attacked, they study the footage. They analyze what went wrong. They update their protocols accordingly. There have been close calls that never made the news. Suspicious packages near motorcade routes. Unidentified aircraft that got too close to Air Force One. Individuals who somehow got past initial security screenings. Each incident leads to new procedures, new technology, new levels of paranoia. You think a presidential motorcade is a few cars? Try 40 to 50 vehicles. Each one has a specific job. Lead cars scout for threats. They're equipped with bomb detection equipment and communication gear. Electronic countermeasures vehicles jam potential remote-controlled explosives. Medical units carry trauma surgeons and emergency equipment. Communication vans maintain contact with command centers worldwide. The Roadrunner communication vehicle can establish secure satellite links anywhere on Earth. It's basically a mobile command center that can coordinate with the Pentagon, CIA, and foreign intelligence services simultaneously. Hazmat teams detect chemical or biological threats. They have equipment that can identify dangerous substances from a distance. Counter-assault teams carry military-grade weapons and are trained to respond to coordinated attacks. And here's the part that'll mess with your head. They often run multiple fake motorcades simultaneously. You see, the presidential convoy might be a decoy. The real president could be in a completely different vehicle, taking a different route. Bush's surprise 2003 Iraq visit shows how extreme this gets. Military vehicles replaced the usual Secret Service SUVs. Multiple helicopter escorts provided air cover. Routes changed every few minutes to prevent ambushes. The entire operation was so secret that senior White House staff didn't know the destination until they were airborne. The motorcade also includes specialized vehicles you'd never expect. Mobile hospitals with operating rooms, command centers with satellite uplinks, even vehicles designed specifically to ram through barriers or other cars if necessary. International travel cranks the complexity to 11. They have to transport the beast on military cargo planes, coordinate with foreign air traffic control, establish secure communications in countries that might want the president dead. For the most dangerous trips, they use the E-4B Doomsday plane. This modified Boeing 747 is designed to serve as an airborne command center during nuclear war. It can stay aloft for days, has radiation shielding, and can communicate with nuclear submarines worldwide. The E-4B has its own power generation systems, advanced communication equipment, and even sleeping quarters for extended flights. It's basically a flying pentagon that can coordinate military operations from anywhere in the world. But here's the really wild part. Sometimes they use commercial aircraft for deception. The president flies on an unmarked plane while Air Force One serves as a decoy. They might use a regular airline livery or even a cargo plane configuration. The goal? Make it impossible for enemies to track presidential movements. International trips also require coordination with foreign security services. The Secret Service has to work with local police, military units, and intelligence agencies. They have to navigate different laws, customs, and security procedures while maintaining their own standards. All this security comes with a cost beyond money. Presidential families live in a bubble most of us can't imagine. Every restaurant visit requires advanced teams. The Secret Service has to sweep the location, check the staff, and even inspect the food preparation. Every vacation destination becomes a temporary military base. Hotels get completely taken over. Beaches get closed to the public. Presidential children grow up with armed guards and can never experience this normal childhood. They can't go to friends' houses without a security detail. They can't participate in normal school activities. Even dating becomes a national security issue. Obama once said the hardest part wasn't the security itself. It was the isolation. Going to a bookstore becomes a major operation involving dozens of people. Taking a walk requires military-level planning. Simple human interactions become impossible when you're surrounded by agents. The psychological toll on presidents is significant. They're constantly aware that their every movement is being monitored, planned, and protected. The weight of knowing that dozens of people are risking their lives for your safety every single day is immense. The next generation of Air Force One is already in development. 2 new Boeing 747-8s costing $5.3 billion. That's billion with a B. They'll have updated communication systems, better fuel efficiency, and countermeasures we can't even imagine. The new planes will have advanced defensive systems that make the current aircraft look primitive. Laser defense systems that can shoot down incoming missiles. Electronic warfare capabilities that can disable enemy aircraft from miles away. But the real evolution is in the planning. Modern presidential travel uses artificial intelligence to analyze threats. Satellite imagery scouts routes in real time. Facial recognition systems scan crowds for known threats. Every trip generates massive data that improves future operations. The Secret Service is also developing new technologies for ground transportation. Self-driving security vehicles that can operate without human drivers, drones that can provide aerial surveillance and even defensive capabilities, communication systems that can't be jammed or intercepted. Here's what this all really means. Presidential travel isn't about getting from point A to point B. It's about maintaining the continuity of government under any circumstances. Natural disaster? The president leads from the air? Terrorist attack? The government continues from a flying command center. International crisis? America's leadership never stops. The elaborate security, the backup plans, the redundant systems, they exist because the presidency is bigger than any individual person. These protocols protect not just the president, but the entire democratic system. And that's just the stuff we know about. The classified details would probably melt your brain. Want to see more content about the hidden world of government operations? Smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. What other presidential secrets should I investigate next? Drop your ideas in the comments below.